is.
Wait. Do you know that is?
So that is a bit of footage that was taken of Nick Fuentes, one of the not only worst but most pathetic people in the United States, involved in a food fight. The LAPD apparently wasn't involved in that, although food was thrown by both sides of the altercation. And let's just say that throwing a shake, I guess, in a restaurant is not only a terrible decision to make because it could lead to God only knows what, but also I'm gonna guess that Nick Fuentes didn't clean that up, that he wasn't the one scrubbing that off the floor, that the already overburdened workers have to clean up for your little emotional outburst. And look, I don't believe that he even started that conflict, although who knows? And more importantly, who cares? But the fact that he gets to just walk and workers have to clean up after yet another one of his messes is just such a perfect metaphor for the culture wars going on right now. But Brad, I know you sent this to me over the weekend. What do you make of it?
Yeah, Nick Fuentes definitely is already in a bad mood when he goes to In-N-Out because the name of the place reminds him of all the sex he's never had. You know,
I get it. That's the only reason you wanted to do this. Can we be clear about that?
No. When Nick Fuentes throws a milkshake in an In-N-Out, does it still hit Andy No in the back of the head? It's so good. I don't know. You have a video that gives it context. I kind of want to hear it.
No. Okay, well, let's go to the context.
Before this goes viral, I know this is gonna look bad on Nick Fuentes. You can see him throwing a Sprite in the In-N-Out. But if you look at the ceiling right here, you see there's ketchup all over. That's because some lady and her husband came up to us, flipped us off, and then threw the ketchup all over me and Nick, mostly Nick. I just wiped it out of my hoodie, and he retaliated with the Sprite. That's actually what happened. We were attacked first, and we told them to go away. They went away and threw ketchup at us. He should not have thrown a Sprite, but that's the truth.
Yes, okay, so to clarify, not a shake, a Sprite. And as I said earlier, I didn't believe at that point that he had started the confrontation. At the same time, like, thank you to that individual for clarifying. Also, why are you hanging out with Nick Fuentes? That seems like a bad call. He's a legitimately terrible person. He's one of the worst people, actually, which, by the way, does not justify throwing food at him. You're wrong to do that. You are totally understandable to want to do that. I get the desire to do that, but his ideology, they are perfectly fine with violence and that sort of stuff. We are not supposed to be like that. I have no idea who the person is that did it. We're supposed to be better than that, and it can be difficult because we're still human in the face of so much utter horridness. But you can't actually throw food at people. Noted anti-Semite Nick Fuentes was reinstated on Twitter and then almost immediately got suspended once again. Things can change a lot in 24 hours. Just yesterday, he was tweeting this meme of SpongeBob SquarePants and all that. He's so happy he's back, and then he was suspended already and puts a message out. Well, it was fun while it lasted. So maybe that's the end of it, or maybe Elon Musk is still in charge, so they'll just give him his account back. I mean, why should he be rejected? He's only a neo-Nazi, racist, misogynistic, anti-Semitic incel, that's all. I just to say very briefly, I saw this morning that he was back on Twitter, and so I decided, because I'm an idiot, I'm gonna go to his Twitter, and the first thing I saw was a big chart of people who own media companies, and he had rated which ones were Jewish and which weren't, just to give you an idea of what he was doing with his newfound access to Twitter. He also held a Spaces forum that thousands of people were at, where he was discussing the Jewish holy texts. So I don't know what you expected him to do when he got back on Twitter, Elon Musk, but he did exactly what he was going to do, and he has apparently been taken off. So I guess that's good news, JR.
I guess so, but you mentioned how he says these things, he's a misogynist and everything, and he platforms, of course, and gives information and inspires. his folks to be violent. That's the last leg of this whole thing. Because people may go, yeah, you can have your rights, whatever you want. You can say things, freedom of speech. And then that freedom of speech, when it's hateful and completely directed at folks based off of lies and your insecurities, that leads to people who feel the same way as you do to go and act out on it. It always ends up with the violent line, by the way. It's just how these things work. And then if you're a supremacist like this guy is, why are you obsessively thinking about the folks that you think are lesser than you? If I think someone is lesser than me, a peon, just an ant on the ground that I can step on, I don't obsessively think about ants over and over and over again. As soon as I get access to Twitter back again, I can't help but to then post about how many ants run this media company. Bro, chill out. What do you do with your life? This is crazy. Like, you're the superior one and you can't stop thinking about those inferior people? Man, this is backwards.
I think he's deep down inside, I think he's pretty sure that he's not actually superior, I would guess. Just in case, I always assume too much knowledge. Some people, reasonable people might not know who Nick Fuentes is. Let's give him just a little taste. 8 seconds of Nick Fuentes here, take a look at this.
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really cool. So, time to grow up. We're not children anymore, am I right?